Okay. Hi, Isabel. How are you?
Hi, Douglas. I am fine, and you?
Doing well, thank you. Thank you for coming on this show. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Thank you for having me today.
So, on your bio, it says that you were born and raised in Brazil and now you live in Stockholm, Sweden. Is that correct?
Yes, this is really like that. I was born in Brazil, that's so warm and cozy country, and then I came to Sweden to cold. It's really like that.
It's like one extreme to the other. Yeah, definitely. So, it must be cold there now. Yeah, you're in the middle of winter.
Yes, fortunately, I am in my mother's house at this moment in Portugal.
Oh,
Then I
okay.
am, yeah, yes, then I am enjoying 15, 16 degrees, what is too great. But now, when I left, it was really like minus 17, minus 18, was super, super cold.
And Sweden is dark for part of the winter, right? Like no sun or very little sun.
Yes, I think that starts around September, latest September actually, and it goes until end of May. It's quite much.
Why did you move to Sweden?
This was first my story was I left first to Lisbon to Portugal because this my mother's now remains here because I did live here for 5 years until I met my boss, a lady who was working to Angola embassy in Sweden, and then she brought me to Sweden, and there I met my husband.
Ah,
And
okay.
yeah, this was in this, but it was not directly from Brazil to Sweden, no.
Well, interesting story. So you're also a writer. You're a writer of children's books. Do you write exclusively children's books?
Yes, yes. Now we are with 7 books, and I say we because my brother is my illustrator, and we are happy with this our story, with the books, and bringing diversity, and is everything like a dream for us.
Okay, so your latest book is called The Sweetest Ladybug, and you said this is your seventh book.
Exactly.
I always feel a little bit strange asking the synopsis of a children's book, but maybe you can just tell us a little bit about what it's about.
Okay, all my books, they brings diversity. This is our goal. My and my brother, the illustrator. And speaking about the sweetest ladybug, it takes place in a garden, which is a symbol of childhood. And I also want to bring with this example of another sort of pleasure for the children to play, another sort of way to don't stay only in the laptops and with electronic games. And nowadays, since lately, the children they have been playing more alone. And my idea is really bring this motivation to play with the imagination, bring some creativeness for the children. My background when I was child, I was playing a lot in my garden. We had a very large backyard, and then me and my brother we need to play a lot with our imagination. And this is the point of the book. Bring this motivation, bring this idea to play with imagination. And we are speaking about a black skinned girl, and she became very small after some magic. This happens when she is reading a book, her father's book about insects. And yeah, she have a lot of adventures, a big adventure in her own garden.
Does she turn into the ladybug or she just gets really small to the same size as a ladybug?
Yeah, no, she takes first. She became small because the cricket, the Mr. Cricket, he makes this magic with her. Then she becomes very very small. And then she want to go with him to have to know his friends from the garden, because he tells he lives in the garden, and to make to her some sort of makeup, we can say like that. She just have a clothes, only this here her clothes is ladybug clothes. I can tell you, when I was child, I was playing a lot. When I was seeing the ants walking in that queue, they have the ants. They go one behind another one,
Yeah.
and I was curious about where they are going, what they do when they go into the hole. And I need to confess, all these memories from my childhood is in this book. And of course, with a black skinned girl who looks like me.
Are all your books, all the 7 children's books that you've written, is there a theme, the common theme of diversity and inclusion in all of them? Yeah.
Yes, yes. I always say I like to bring this fun, and it's interesting to bring fun in the books who makes us laugh and makes us happy. But I also want to bring values I believe, and of course diversity need to be included nowadays, always actually. But nowadays I think we have more space to do that than before. When I was child, for example, we didn't have this experience to see characters who looks like myself. I never had a princess or whatever, a small ladybug, nothing. And now is the time is coming. I think I have more friends, more actors and other authors who is engaged with this purpose, and I'm happy by this moment. I think we are going well with the great books coming, new books, and this is great. It's wonderful.
So as a society, you think we're getting better as far as being more inclusive with our literature, children's literature? Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course. I think children they must start to see these books when we need this when we are a child. We need to think about our children, imagining which sort of adults they will become. This is what I think when I make my job with these books, and the result is great. The reply from the readers, from the parents, from the teachers is incredible. This motivate, of course. I feel motivated to continue.
What age group is your books geared towards?
Now they are actually from 5 to 12 years old.
Now, are these types of books that parents should read to the children or read together? Would that be good?
I always say it is important we read together, because when we share these readings with our child, and I tell our child because I have 2 girls, I think we bring this in our memories from our childhood. Oh, my father was reading with me, my mother was reading with me, my uncle, my aunt. It's important. I think the teachers also, it's very sad when we read alone. Now when we are adults, of course, we are used to read alone. But I think children, they need to have someone else to read together. I think it's much more fun.
I want to hit on one of your talking points on your sheet here. It's actually the first one. It says fantasy, and how does it factor into writing? Why is fantasy important for kids?
Fantasy is everything, Douglas. And I think about me when I was child. I was born in Brazil, a small town, and it was so important. The moments when I was dreaming, when I was thinking about my future. I want to do that. I want to be that. I was creating, imagining things. I think when you can fantasy and imagine and work with your imagination, you can reach your goals because you bring this to your adult life. Even now, nowadays, I am a dreamer, I always say. But how important was for me to have that moments when I was playing with my imagination in my own garden with my brother and sister. I have a brother and sisters. And of course, it's important. And I wonder, I always ask nowadays, when the children, when they are doing this, they are alone many times playing with themselves, with iPads and telephones. What they are doing, they don't create, they don't play like inventing things. I really believe this is important, of course.
Do you think the iPad is bad for fantasy?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have this experience in my house with I have two girls, and we have games like to learn maths and grammar, and it's okay. But when we are not monitoring the children, they can easier go to another places on the tablets where is really danger. And many parents nowadays, and I speak about myself also, we are busy doing our jobs, our things, and we don't have time. Sometimes it's okay, I will leave you only 30 minutes, but then comes someone to call, and we are working, we are doing things, and the child is there, then they are there for many hours. This is really danger. When I was child, we didn't have tablets, we didn't have telephones, and we had a great childhood. Nowadays, we have another time, I understand, is different, is good for one point, because it's technology. My children, they know things I never could learn when I was 9 or 7 years old. But on the other hand, they lose this time to play with themselves, creating things, drawing things. And this was important for me also, because today, for example, I can write. This was something I was doing when I was child in the writing lectures in the school. And in my writings, I was inventing stories, creating new things. This is great. Until now, I remember this. And when we have goals, when we want to reach goals, it's because we dream about them. This is important.
Yes, I agree with you. And I think that parents should take a little bit more responsibility to limit the amount of time that kids are using the iPad and their phone. And I think that what you're saying is very true. I think that there needs to be some sort of real time with parents and children, and with children with other children. This is why I'm kind of down on remote learning, because I think taking kids out of school is a bad idea. I think they need all of that socialization. I understand why we did it for COVID, but I wouldn't like to see that being the norm, because I think it's too much computer time, basically.
Yes, and of course, when we bring books to our home for our children with diversity, this is my first objective, of course. I mean, I want to see this representation with the children with color, but also bring this kind of motivation to play with the imagination. Okay, now we are seeing the sweetest ladybug. What about we go to the garden? We can imagine to
Yes, yeah.
see the insects we have there. Which sort of insects we have? I always say in Brazil we have a tropical country, and I remember all the insects I was playing in my backyard. They had incredible colors and the formats. Was really, I never saw them again. here in Europe, of course, we are different in climate and everything. But how rich was my childhood, only playing in the backyard and so, with no tablets, with no telephones. We need to try. I know it's difficult. I know because I have children at home, I know. But we need to try. We need to do.
A balance is good. I think, the pad for sometimes, the phone, but then get away from it and do something for real with your children as well. I think a good balance would be healthy. Isabel, we do have to wrap this up. Unfortunately, we are out of time. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Do you have a website that you want to give out?
Yes, please. I am very happy when I get the questions, the message from the readers. I have the isabelcintra.com, and then also the Instagram, Isabel Cintra _ author. And from there you can see all the books, all the premiations, and new front books I have there also, because like I told before, I have the 7 books now, with the sweetest ladybug.
Okay, great.
Then, have a lot of to see.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. It was nice meeting you, and best of luck with your books and your writing. Hope it goes well.